Hi everybody, my name is Barry Schwartz and this is the Search Buzz Video Recap. Today is Friday, January 16th, I believe, 2015. And this is the search news we covered over at the Search Engine Roundtable, SERoundtable.com. First up, Google's John Mueller said in a video hangout this week that if you are hurt by Penguin, technically and theoretically, you do not need to actually disavow links or remove links. You could just get better links, and that might go ahead and tip the scales to the better side of things. But at the same time, getting better links and acquiring links and building links is inorganic. So it's like you really can't do that. But technically, theoretically, it might go ahead and work. It just basically explains to you more about how the Penguin algorithm works. It's not just like, oh, I have 5 bad links, that's putting me in the Penguin, or it's not putting me in the Penguin penalty box or whatever it might be. It's more about as links, links as a whole on your to your website are bad. So obviously, if you improve that whole way of Google looking at your links, then it might go ahead and benefit you in the future. Hopefully that makes sense. So Google this week posted on Google Plus a link to a moderator page asking Google webmasters, anybody really, to go ahead and vote on what, or actually submit ideas on what you would like to see Google improve or change or whatever in 2015 around both web search and Google Webmaster Tools. So you can go ahead and get that information. Currently there's lots of stuff being submitted there. Let's see if it actually loads. Let's see what stuff's there in live. So view suggestions, 209 suggestions. Currently, there's 214 people, I think it's the highest voted thing, that like my idea of adding an automated action viewer to the system. People want to see more data and stuff like that. So definitely go ahead and submit your ideas. There's no reason not to. And obviously it will give Google and the Google Webmaster team, Google Webmaster Trends team, some ammunition to go ahead and go back to the people who make the final decisions if they can go ahead and do stuff or not. Google has updated their structured data testing tool and updated documentation. It's come a long way since 2009 when it launched as a Google Rich Snippet testing tool. So the main things that it actually added was validation for all Google features powered by structured data, support for markup in the JSON LD syntax, clean display of the structured data items on your page, and syntax highlighting of markup problems right in your HTML source. So this is what it looks like when it's all good. This is what it looks like when there's some problems, and it will actually highlight over there what the actual problem is directly in the syntax, which makes it much easier. And of course, they updated their documentation, which is very important as well, including their guidelines around structured data. Google has added social profile links to brand pages. They added this back in November to personalities like President Obama, different artists and stuff like that. But they also now added it to brand pages. And you can actually control it using markup as well. And specifically added, so you can actually add, like you see over here, is Google's profiles, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Google+, and Instagram. But they also added the ability to show MySpace for some reason, YouTube, LinkedIn, and so forth. So you can actually go ahead and control your profile links if you guys have a knowledge graph coming up for your brand. Google Knowledge Graph also improved their events markup. So it looks like Google's doing a lot of work around their knowledge graph and structured data and so forth. So now they actually give you the ability to add official ticket links. So over here you can actually, specify where you want your official ticket links to go to, which merchant. If you don't have enough information about your events on your own website, you can actually delegate those things to another website and specify it in your code. You can also go ahead and see the venue events, so actually what's happening in a specific venue, as well as now comedians are considered part of, like an artist, and could be included in here as well. Google News quietly announced in their Google Publisher newsletter, the first one, that they're actually now changed the way you could go ahead and how Google News would actually go ahead and crawl and index your article, your images in your articles. So Google Pass said that they would rarely ever go ahead and source your image if it was hosted on a separate domain name. So if you had your content or images hosted on a CDN or maybe subdomains were okay. I guess they were. I think they were okay. Subdomains are definitely okay. But in terms of if you had it hosted on like an Amazon web server with a different URL than your main domain name, then it would actually not work. So now Google's saying it no longer has to be hosted on your own domain name for Google to pick it up and show it in the search results. So Glenn Gabe went ahead and got one of his clients went ahead and got a message from Google Webmaster Tools telling him that he had mobile usability issues found on his website, and specifically that since it's a big problem on his website, therefore will be displayed and ranked appropriately, meaning these pages will not be seen as mobile friendly by Google search and will therefore be displayed and ranked appropriately for smartphone users. Why doesn't Google just say, we're going to demote your website in the mobile search results because you're mobile issues, and these are the issues? I'm not sure. I'm not sure why they're being very abstract about it, but that's okay. Talking about that, Google promises us that in 2015 they're going to go ahead and update the messaging in with Google Webmaster Tools. So again, that's related to that. Google's John Mueller said it's coming, and definitely expect better HTML templates as well as messaging going forward. Okay, talking about that, people are sometimes confused by Google's advice. And honestly, you can't win. The more Google gives advice to people, the more they share. Sometimes they can't share everything, and sometimes they have to be more abstract and general. And sometimes when they get general advice given to people, it gets frustrating. At the same time, Google's actually giving more information, being more transparent, and it seems like webmasters just want more. And it's understandable, but at the same time, the more we push back as webmasters and complain, the more people at Google might have to say, hey, these guys aren't appreciating what we're doing, why do we bother? All we really care about are the searchers, not necessarily the webmasters, so why are we bothering trying to appease them? So I think us as webmasters have to be careful, us as publishers have to be careful about how much we complain about stuff that they're doing to actually help us. Again, maybe the tone of how we complain is as well is important. This week we uncovered that Google's AdSense ads were hijacking websites, literally. So if you had AdSense on your website, the ad itself would actually go ahead and auto-redirect people to a spammy website. Google actually wouldn't admit to it earlier. This has been happening since January 4th. But today, this morning, Google actually announced that there was an issue, they resolved it, and they're going to go ahead and take more action going forward. So Google said in the forum thread, the Google Ads quality team is investigating a new type of spam that uses Flash to auto-redirect users to a different site once they loaded the page. We identified the cause of the issue and we have addressed the problem on our network. We're working with impacted publishers and improving our screening process to protect against this type of problem in the future. So obviously Google had an issue, at least for about 15 days or so. They admitted to it, and they're going to take some action going forward, and hopefully it's fixed going forward. Talking Google AdSense, there's this concept behind, and this is not a new thing, but it's Google AdSense hedging, where somebody's going to go to me, let's say as a publisher, and say, I'm going to pre-buy your AdSense revenue. You make, let's say, $200 a month. I'll give you $225. Let me get whatever you're going to earn in a month from now, and I'll give you the $225 ahead. So the question is, why are they doing this? Sometimes, obviously, AdSense publishers will go ahead and be contacted by AdSense consultants saying, I'll take over your ads, I'll better monetize them, I'll place them in different places. Trust me, I'll give you X dollars, I'll take the money from AdSense, you get X dollars from me, you don't have to worry about it. But in this case, it's not like he's giving access to the user. What he might be doing is just pushing bad traffic to the site, get a bunch of invalid clicks, get paid for it first, and then leave the publisher screwed, maybe, I'm not sure. But this has been happening, and it's very interesting to see that. Google made some very advanced changes to the Google Translate app across Android and iOS. Some of it's new for iOS, some of it's new for Android. Instant translation using the camera lens. It might take a while to load as an animated GIF, as well as real-time conversation translation. So if I'm talking to somebody, blah, 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 it will go ahead and translate it back in their language, and then when they talk, it will translate it back in my language as text. So it's pretty interesting, and this is actually, you open the Translate app, you click on the camera, you point it at a sign, it would actually go ahead and overlay the sign with the English, which is really, really cool with your translation. Google Analytics made a change that might upset some people, but truth is, you're not really missing anything. They actually removed some of the features that might look like they removed the organic search traffic, but they did not. They just updated the acquisition section to make it easier to navigate for people, but all the search was also there, so you don't have to worry. And finally, Google Glass is done. It's no longer Google X project. The Explorer program is completely done. They're moving into the Nest platform. They're going to be building a version 2, they said, sometime in the future. We're not exactly sure when, but it's actually done. So I'm going to put mine in my archive box next to my Apple Newton and a bunch of other technology that died early on before its day. Anyway, thanks so much for listening to the Search Buzz Video Recap. My name is Barry Schwartz, and this is the search news we covered over the past week at the Search Engine Roundtable at SEOroundtable.com. Today, again, is Friday, January 16th. Everyone have a great weekend, and I'll see you guys next. Bye.